I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is that OnlyFans management is still a fucking cash cow and can still change your life in 2026. The bad news is that your plan on starting an agency is probably completely wrong and all the gurus on YouTube lied to you, which is probably why you're here. So let me tell you, you clicked on the right video. I've started my own OFM agency 5 years ago and I've helped hundreds of people get started and across the finish line in less than a few months. So prepare yourself for how you can actually start an OFM agency in less than 30 days. Let's get right into it. I structured it as a whole 30-day plan that you can start following today in order to maximize everything that you are starting to do. We start with the first 1 and 3 days. Our overall mission statement is we need a creator before everything else, right? Without a creator, we can't work. Sounds pretty logical, right? This is our mission statement. All of our efforts will evolve around that. I'm going to keep that structure for later on. Meaning, your action steps in the first 3 days of starting the agency is setting up your recruitment aimed at for speed, not efficiency. Now, for quick bypass, every single thing that I'm going to mention in this video is obviously going to have more questions following up to it. To everything that I'm mentioning in here, I do most likely have a separate video on how to do it step by step in detail. But set up your recruitment for speed, not efficiency. It's not your job to do it perfect. It's not your job to test out the perfect ideal message. Your job is to sign a creator and to learn by doing. Now, set up your recruitment accounts. If you want to do IG outreach, which I can recommend to you, set up your outreach accounts. There's videos and ebooks for that I have for free. Split test A/B messages from day one. Make sure you split test different outreach messages, meaning you don't know how to do outreach yet. Nobody expects it from you. Your job is to find it out and learn it. Your job is to write 5 different messages that all have different purposes. One that's very professional, saying, listen, we're this agency, we're trying to do this. You will gain this, we will do this. Do you want to have a chat? Very professional one. You can also have a super unprofessional one and just say, yo, what's up with your IG reels? For a higher reply rate, creators gonna ask, what do you mean? What the fuck's up with my IG reels? Well, I just noticed you have this problem, etc. pp. Why don't you work with an agency? You see what I'm getting at, right? And there's no right and wrong in outreach. You want to split test different messages, see which one works the best. And as a last thing, in the first couple of days only, while you set everything up, prepare the onboarding, right? You want to make sure that once you sign a creator, you have a clear action plan in mind. Again, I got videos for that, but it's super important to know that once you sign a creator, things have to happen fast. You can't just wait a week until you properly onboard them. No, you shouldn't obviously spend 5 hours a day just preparing for the fucking onboarding, but you should have it ready. So once a creator agrees to sign the contract, agrees to work with you, you should already be ready and be able to work immediately. Now, in this video, obviously, I won't run you through the entire process of hiring a creator from day 1 to day 3. There's, I think, 5 videos on my channel about that. So, let's say you put in 10 hours of work, you do it the right way, and let's assume you find a creator in those first 3 days. Realistically, it might even take you like up to 5 days, up to a week. But I've seen people sign the creator in the first couple of days of outreaching just by treating it like a professional business field, not running it as a side hustle, and following the principles I've set in previous videos, which is not a guarantee, but we're going to start with that to keep things efficient because we got the whole work in front of us, which is day 4 to 7. Now it's going to get interesting. You just signed the creator, all right? Creator just said, yes, I want to work with you. What's happening now? Because we're just starting with the 30 days and you haven't made any real money yet. So how do we actually fix that? Our mission statement overall is to set ourselves up for success. This is super, super important because we're not trying to set up the actual systems. We're not trying to immediately start posting content. Our goal is to do all the necessary requirements, to do all the necessary to-dos, so we don't have any blockers, we don't have any problems, and we have all the manpower and all the content that we need to start posting, to start engaging. As you know the common saying, right? The dumb man spends 10 hours trying to chop down a tree. The smart man spends 8 hours sharpening his axe and does the same job in 2 hours. This is what we're trying to do. We're sharpening our tools. We're sharpening our weapons so we can get right into battle and conquer the Holy Land, aka Israel. Now, our action steps are in the onboarding, once a creator agrees to go, obviously finish the entire onboarding. That means you want to sit down with your creator and set realistic expectations and communicate your vision. That means if this is the first agency you're ever running, you don't have much experience. You shouldn't lie to the creator. Say, yeah, we're going to make 10 grand, 20 grand, 100 grand. We're going to make $1 million per day. That's obviously not going to cut it. So what you want to do is to sit her down and put a spin on it. Put a spin on it. Make it sound cool, even if it's not. Sit her down and tell her, listen, we're going to grow it fucking big, all right? We're going to make you the next Sophie Rain. But obviously we need to test out a couple of marketing strategies. We need to kind of see where it goes. So yeah, the first couple of months might be even a bit dry. Not gonna lie, we had creators where it took like 3 months and then they went up to like 50, 60K. That can happen just to prepare you, right? We're gonna update you with all the progress that we do, but just so you're not like having wrong expectations. We're playing the long-term game here. Other agencies are trying to scam the creators. We are trying to help them. You know, put a spin on it. AKA just say, bro, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just trying to get started. But obviously don't say that out loud. Put it in a cool spin. So set realistic expectations. What happens if you don't? Creator after a month sees you're not making 6 figures and leaves you. So this is in your own benefit, not for the creator. And next up, communicate your vision. The second biggest reason your creator after signing, shortly after, leaves you is because they don't understand what you're even doing. They don't understand where you're going. So after 2 months of nothing crazy happening, they think, wow, we're stuck. So you have to tell your creator, listen, first 30 to 60 days, first 30 days, I'm trying to get to do this. The 60 days, this is my goal. I want to hire these people, get this here set up, go to this KPI. In the next 90 days, my goal is to get you on this podcast, get this done, hire chatters, hire supervisors. And till the end of the year, my goal is to be at this number, get this done, this. Cool. You bought yourself at least 3 months of the creator being super hyped and being like, oh, all the great things are happening. I'm so hyped. Everything's happening. I don't have to do a thing, right? So set realistic expectations, communicate your vision. Mistake that I've done in the past when I started my own agency, that if I had to do it again, this is what I would change. Next up, task the first feed post and afterwards the first script for your creator. Meaning you need a certain amount of content on your profile, but also your main job in the onboarding. And again, I have a whole video for that on the channel, but to basically give you the TLDR rundown, your goal is to give the creator the habit of producing content, make them feel comfortable, make them able to produce more content in less time with more quality. And you do that by giving them some simple feed posts in the beginning and letting them do their first NSFW script, right? So your creator has a certain amount of investment in the agency. They've already showed everything, right? They've already done the crazy shit. So now you can also trust them and invest more time and money, right? You don't want to spend fucking money or time into a creator if they've never even done a script, because that means you don't even know how much they would do for the agency. Just a little cheat code so you don't get scammed or ripped off. Now, task the things, send them a little feed post list and send them the first script. Once they do it, give them valid feedback. And I don't mean just say, wow, that looks amazing. Or, hey, I tapped that. You look juicy. Don't be a creep and don't just give like ChatGPT copy paste all positive feedback. Tell them exactly what they're doing good. Give them a lot of compliments, but also mention the negative things. Don't be like, well, it's good content, but I don't know, you're fucking ugly. Don't hurt their fucking feelings, but find something that's minor enough so it doesn't sting, but also that shows that you're honest, right? For example, content very good, this and this I like. Next time, let's focus a bit more on having a bit more lighting, right? So the content looks a bit more high quality, but we can work on that next time. Because now the creator actually knows the feedback is legit. If someone asks you for feedback and you just tell positive shit, they know you just made that up. They know you just don't want to hurt their feelings. So always give a bit of negative feedback so the creator can also start to be comfortable. It makes sense. Also, share a clear roadmap of what's coming. That means not just the vision, but also telling them, okay, first couple of days, I'm going to give you feed posts and a script. Then I'm going to start sending you Instagram Reel list. I'm going to start letting you do Reddit content, etc. So kind of tell her, okay, in a couple of days, I'm going to hit you up for IG Reel content. So it's not like the big surprise. Like, why the fuck are you sending me this? I never agreed to do IG Reels. This is what we're trying to prevent. So share them a clear roadmap and finish your onboarding like that. Now, in terms of the traffic department, in these couple of days, you want to start doing Instagram research in the mainstream bubble to find content, and in the OFM bubble to see what exactly not to do and what your competition is doing that you obviously have to stand out from. So let's assume you want to start Instagram Reels. If you don't, I honestly don't know what the fuck you're trying to do in OFM. And obviously you want to go into the mainstream bubble. You don't want to see the sexual twerking dances. Your goal right now is to set yourself up for success and understand what you're doing. Because like I said in previous videos, if you're trying to build a car, you must know how the car works. You must know what does the clutch do, how do these little elements work with the others, how do the tires spin, how do I even fucking brake. If you don't know how a car works, you won't be able to build one, and you definitely won't win a fucking Formula 1 race. So in order to get that done, you need to understand the bubble, and finding content happens in mainstream content. funny jokes, relatable stuff, little comedy skits. This is where all the views are. This is where the money comes from, right? It's doing sexual shit on Instagram ain't working. So you want to start understanding the mainstream stuff that people usually watch, but also you want to see what other OF creators are doing, see what works, what doesn't. For all I care, spend 5 or 6 hours a day scrolling, writing down your learnings. It's only going to have a positive effect. You don't have to, but you can, and it's going to be worth in gold once you do that. So next step in the traffic is obviously to start creating the first 3 Instagram accounts. There's a whole routine of creating those accounts, doing the first warm-up, keeping the warm-up routine, adding a profile picture, preparing the accounts for posting, and then uploading your first reel. And we want to cut that time in half. So once you can start actually posting, the accounts are ready. So start to create the first 3 Instagram accounts and finish setting up a funnel. Meaning, make sure you have a working funnel system. You have a link that leads to the OnlyFans where you have content, where you have a banner, a profile picture, and a bio, and people are able to spend money to subscribe. So from this day on, you can start making money with OFM. And we should get that done pretty fast because obviously that's one of the first things you need to do. Backend wise, there's not much to do. Obviously set up the profile to be desirable and not perfect. You want to add a banner that's attractive and a profile picture that's basically showing her strengths. If she has fat tits, show the tits in the profile picture. If she has a fat ass, show the ass in the banner. Make sure her face is visible. Make sure the pictures do look actually attractive and not cheap. Have a bio that communicates who she is, what she is actually showing on the profile, and why people should subscribe. Keep it simple, stupid, no porn phrases, no tip list. Make it good enough. That's our goal right now. Make it good enough so we can start getting subscribers. We can later make everything perfect, optimize everything. These are our action steps for days 4 to 7. For the first week, this is everything we should be get going. You can probably be a lot fucking faster. But if you do everything with the right amount of focus, this is where you want to end up at. And after that, you know what you're trying to do in the traffic. You have everything set up. Your creator is basically on the job task. And we can go on to the next stage, which is day 8 to day 15. First of all, our mission is to eliminate progress killers. We want to start getting our work done, but in the meantime, we also want to eliminate everything that keeps us from scaling higher. Our job now is we're going to run into like 50 different problems because I assume if you've never run an agency or you're just in the start, you probably don't know what the fuck you're doing. So you starting to post on Instagram and you see something that you don't understand is a progress killer. You're just stuck with every single problem that you see. So we have to eliminate those and start to build up a routine. Now, in terms of the onboarding, which is still not finished, by the way, that's the thing about onboardings, is create clear SOPs for your creators and learn how to actually delegate tasks. It doesn't matter if it's for employees, but especially for creators, the number one reason you are unhappy or you will be unhappy with your creators, with your employees, with your business partners is because you didn't explain it well enough, okay? If I tell you, hey, record a YouTube video for me real quick, you don't know what the fuck to do. You don't know which camera setting to use. You don't know which script to say. You don't know how to start the video, which lighting to have, where should you upload the file when you're done. So you got most likely going to freestyle, do what you think is best. And I have to then correct 50 different mistakes. I think you're a fucking idiot. You are super stressed, not knowing what to do. You hate the fucking job, and both of us are pissed off. So it's your job and your responsibility to make sure your creator knows exactly what to do, doesn't do any mistakes. If you explain and delegate a task well enough, there shouldn't be any room for mistakes. So if that means sending your creators a screen recording of how to actually log into an account. If you send your creator 5 different example pictures and a voice note explaining exactly what you need them to do for the content, right? Making clear SOPs that you can send creators in order to eliminate all these little mistakes, because creators have a very good tendency to fuck things up on a daily basis. So this is where it's going to get very interesting, because you're going to need more and more content and more quality from them very, very soon. Next up is to build a bulletproof communication. So you want to make sure that you and your creator have the setup required to get things done. Meaning, tell her exactly what you expect from her in terms of communication. Let me guess, most of you guys who already started an agency, when's the last time you've done that? Cut you right there. So tell her, listen, there's only a few things I need from you, and that is A, that you reply on time. I don't want to wait 2 or 3 days for you to give me a heads up. Second of all, you can come to us with anything. If you don't feel good, if you have your period, if you have whatever, if your fucking dog gets run over by a truck driver listening to Lana Del Rey, it's fine. You don't have to work, all right? You can just tell us. But this is the one requirement we have, to tell us when something is wrong. To tell us when you feel bad. Not just ignore us for 3 days and then say, yeah, sorry, I had a headache. average woman moment in that regard. So tell her what you expect for the communication. Say it nicer than I did, please. And also ask her, okay, what's important for you communication-wise? It goes both ways, because if your creator is pissed off, yeah, it may be irrational. Yeah, it maybe doesn't make sense. But in the end, a pissed off creator doesn't make content, aka you don't make money. AKA, you have to work at McDonald's, which I assume you don't want to because you clicked this wonderful video. So build a bulletproof communication, be very direct, very nice, very respectful, and set up these kind of parameters that you and your creator need to get things done. If you have to wait 3 days for a reply and your creator argues with you half the time, this is not a way to build a proper industry, let me tell you that. Now, in the traffic department, we want to test 3 to 4 different verticals to find a winning concept. We want to make sure that for our creator that has a certain look, has a certain type, has a certain character, our goal is to find 4 different content ideas that we're going to do without niching, without branding, without having 5,000 accounts. This is not relevant right now. Our goal is to say, okay, our creator is a golf girl. Okay, she looks like a golf alt girl, like no father figure type shit. And we try to find 4 videos in the golf niche that we're going to find via the research on the days before. And we want to try 4 different videos. One of them is her, for example, speaking in the video. One of them is her going outside and doing a little dance. One of them is her doing a comedy skit, and the other one is a dance, for example. We have 4 different verticals, and we want to test all of them out multiple times. It's going to take a week or 2. It's going to take a lot of videos to see a pattern. We're still trying to get the basics in the videos done. As I said, a lot of videos on the channel. How to even go viral, how to make videos, have a hook, be interesting, be aesthetic, be attractive, have certain keywords. All of that you're trying to learn now, that you want to learn it with a couple of different verticals that you're going to find through outreach and through research, through the right research. Now, start posting 2 times a day per account that you have to obviously get enough data in, to get enough views, enough videos, so you can actually understand what the next steps are going to be, aka I'm going to come to that in a sec. And last but not least, now you can start expanding into Twitter and Reddit if you want to run other traffic sources on the site. I would start with one of them at a time, so you have the full focus when it comes to setting everything up. But after a week or 2, you can start also exploring into Twitter and Reddit, doing essentially the same thing I just told you about IG, just for these platforms, which are also at least nice to have when it comes to getting some fast subscribers. IG Reels will be your main money source in the end. Backend wise, obviously, you will start to get subscribers. Not many, but you will start to get subs. And if you're at a point where you get decent chatting revenue, and we're talking even, let's say, 1 or 2 grand a month, which I assume in your position might even be life-changing money. I've been there. This is where I'm coming from. I'm coming from the time where I'm sitting down on a Friday evening, and until midnight, every single sale I do will be on my bank account on time to pay my fucking rent. And I have to do 3 times the chatting revenue in the next 5 hours to pay my rent. And this is where I'm coming from. And this might even be where you are right now. So since you don't have enough money and time to hire chatters yet, you have to do the chatting yourself. And you have to do that. Trust me. You need to know what you're doing before you outsource it to someone. But you obviously can't chat for 24 hours a day. So you need to block yourself a certain time period. If you don't have a job or school or whatever, block yourself 6 to 8 hours a day of focused chatting time. No traffic towers in between, not talking to your girlfriend, not jerking off, not going to the gym. You sit in front of your MacBook, in front of your computer, and you chat with the full focus because you're trying to learn actively. Inform the subs about that frame. So if you only have 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, tell the subs, yeah, I'm usually at university. I'm always going to be available during this and this time. It's not perfect, but at least you can make the most amount of money, because I can tell you, chatting for 6 hours with full focus makes you more money than kind of chatting on the side while you do something else for 10 hours. I can guarantee you that. Next up, start with lead generation. So once you have at least a couple of subscribers on the profile, you can start educating yourself and implementing lead generation tools such as mass messages, OnlyFans stories, CTAs in the feed posts, online mass messages, all of these different things that help subscribers to message you, to reply to your messages, get in conversations, and start being sold too. So once you have a couple of subs in the profile, start with that. Get people into sales conversations, because selling 2 or 3 scripts extra per month might already be the 1.5K revenue that you need in your bank account to keep the business alive, which in my book, that's some pretty good fucking money if you're starting a business from scratch. Now, those are day 8 to 15. Let's get to the next ones, which is day 16 to day 25. Our mission here is that data gathering means money. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business, is a common saying. I'll go even one step further and say, if you don't work with your data, you're not going to make money. It is impossible. Knowing the data is one thing, but you have to work with it, right? Now, I'm going to give you a couple of action steps here in order to explain what I mean by that exactly. In the traffic department, you want to start doing sentiment analysis in your niche / content bubble. Let's take the example before from the golf girl further. You have a creator that looks like a golf chick, right? Old girl with like leather, fishnets, like black hair and all that stuff. Now, how much do you actually know about golf girls? How much do you know about the bubble? What does a video in the golf girl bubble, which is a real thing, need to go viral? Which outfits do these creators need to wear in order to get viral? What do they have to say? What do they have to do? Do you know? I don't fucking know. I haven't done a sentiment analysis there in a longer time. So you need to go on Instagram, search for all the hashtags, all the sounds, all the creators in that bubble, pick 10, and then find out, okay, what does a video need to go viral in the golf girl niche? Okay, she probably has to have a certain type of fantasy involved, because golf girls work with a fantasy. For example, breeding, pegging, being mommy's little girl, being super submissive, whatever it is. Okay, that's what's needed to go viral. Write that down. I should probably do that now. Same with the outfits, right? What outfits do they wear? If you have a golf chick and she wears like a fucking burqa, yeah, that might not be appropriate and nobody's gonna like it because it's unusual. And that works for every single bubble, even just for blonde creators with big tits. That's a niche in itself, right? Every creator has a niche. You just have to find that out. Now, second of all, analyze your own accounts and find clear winning patterns. Again, video for that is online on my channel, but you can see your own videos. See, okay, we've uploaded fucking 30 videos in the last couple of weeks, and out of those 30, 10 of them made at least 3 or 4 times the average views. What did I do different here? Is it a certain outfit that every time I wear it, I make more views? Is it a certain location that every time I film outside, I happen to go viral? Or is it just a certain amount of angle or a certain amount of fantasy that if I play into it, a certain video idea, that makes me go viral more? We're trying to search for winning patterns, winning formulas of videos that you can replicate and do again. This is how Instagram works. Once you find those, you can build your strategy around that. And we're trying to find those once we have enough videos on the account online and they're all on a similar level of entertainment. Right. Next up, you want to start outsourcing low ROI tasks to free up your MMA routine. I don't mean that you should be the next Conor McGregor. I mean your money-making activity routine. Things that actively bring money in the bank, things that actively generate revenue, and you need time to do those. If you have to organize back-end content for 4 hours a day and upload Instagram Reels and Reddit posts for another 5 hours, you don't have enough time to scale the agency. You're working in the business, not on the business. So it's now the time, once you have a certain amount of revenue, to start hiring a VA to organize content. Maybe hire a VA if you've done Reddit long enough to just start the posting, or start to hire the first chatters, depending on where you are numbers wise, right? This is the right time to do it because you need to be fully focused on scaling the agency and building up your momentum even more. Backend wise, obviously, document your selling process, still check yourself, and prepare for chatter hiring in the near future. You obviously need to train them with a bunch of materials, a bunch of theory, a bunch of knowledge that you want to give to them. So document what you're doing, document what is working and what not. After every chatting shift, write down a couple of notes for 10 minutes. Hey, I tried out this and this worked fucking amazing. So prepare for chatter hiring in the near future, because if you want to hire chatters, you don't have any info materials, you're going to have a big fucking problem. Also, pick 3 KPIs to improve and set your focus in the chatting. Meaning, you want to pick the 3 KPIs that will bring the most amount of money in and just focus on fixing those, not all at once. That could be the reply time that you have in the chats, which is arguably the most important one when it comes to making more money and making more sales. The welcome message reply rate in terms of how many people who come on the profile actually message you, and the PPV purchase rate, aka how many PPVs that you send out actually get bought, which all have different fixes, different variations, right? But pick 3 KPIs and then set your focus only on those 3. You can't fix the entire chatting at the time, but your goal should be to work on one thing at a time to get a better chatting ratio, get more sales in, because like I already mentioned, cash flow in the beginning is going to be super important for you. You don't want to live in your mom's basement for the rest of your life, do you? Now, while we get that out the way, in day 16 to 25, we are going to come to day 26 and day 30, last 4 days of the month. And I've kind of restructured it here because the mission statement now shifts from all different individual things to just rinse and repeating the scaling process. Now, the first thing you want to do is hire chatters and train them step by step. Once the numbers allow it, and once you're able to pull a profit from having chatters on the account, save yourself up to 8 to 10 hours per day and hire your chatters and train them. Next up, you want to shift your full focus towards marketing and recruiting new creators. Your backend is something that you optimize to a certain degree, but New subscribers are always going to be the number one priority for a while now. So while you should keep your backend alive, make sure every chatter is onboarded and trained the right way, give them daily feedback, keep them alive. But your focus in terms of scaling should go into marketing and recruiting better creators, because that's the easiest way you're going to scale and the two harder options of the industry. And last but not least, everything above living expenses that you currently earn, you should be reinvested without blinking, right? If you think this is the time to buy a Datejust and let a Dubai hooker shit on your face, you're wrong. This is not the time for it. You have to keep the momentum alive and scale the business to a certain degree, right? Even if you reinvest everything, you still have money left. But you're not in a position to enjoy life yet. You're in a position to get to work. So with that being out of the way, let me quickly adjust this like this. You now know how to start an entire OnlyFans agency in less than 30 days, have all the extra steps required, and every additional part of information that you may require, you're going to find on my channel, but not only there, but also in the bio where you can find my free ebooks and my free 13,000 member Telegram community, showing you all the necessary infos that was lacking in this video. If you're the type of person that wants even more personal guidance, that wants to get handheld through the entire way, you can text me on Telegram at @OliverSmolay for my personal consulting. See if there's a spot open for you. If that's not what you're into, you're going to find the rest of the info, like I said, on YouTube and on my Telegram. With that being said, hope you have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.